What if I told you that the death of one man could completely reshape the entire Middle East and potentially trigger a global crisis? Well, that's exactly what we're witnessing right now as reports emerge about the passing of Iran's supreme leader. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal will absolutely blow your mind. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the most significant geopolitical events of our lifetime. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you don't want to miss any of these breaking updates. Let's start with what we know so far. According to multiple international news sources, including Reuters and BBC, Iran's supreme leader has reportedly passed away, sending immediate shockwaves throughout the Middle East and beyond. Now, I want to be clear here. The situation is still developing and information is coming in rapidly, but the implications of this news are absolutely staggering. To understand why this is such a monumental event, we need to first understand the role of the supreme leader in Iran's political system. The supreme leader isn't just a figurehead. They hold ultimate authority over all major state decisions, including foreign policy, military operations, and nuclear programs. As reported by CNN, the supreme leader has the final say on everything from diplomatic negotiations to military strikes. But here's where things get really interesting, and honestly quite concerning. The power vacuum that's about to emerge could destabilize not just Iran, but the entire region. According to foreign policy experts quoted in the Wall Street Journal, Iran's succession process is notoriously complex and could lead to internal power struggles that last for months or even years. Let me break down what this means for different regions and countries around the world, because the ripple effects are going to be massive. First, let's talk about the Middle East. Iran has been a major player in regional conflicts, supporting various proxy groups across Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq. According to analysis from the Washington Post, the uncertainty surrounding Iran's leadership could either escalate these conflicts as different factions try to assert dominance, or potentially create opportunities for diplomatic breakthroughs if more moderate voices gain influence. Israel is watching this situation extremely closely. As reported by Haaretz, Israeli intelligence agencies have been monitoring Iran's internal political dynamics for years, and they're likely preparing for multiple scenarios. The relationship between Iran and Israel has been one of the most tense in the region, with constant threats and occasional military actions. A change in Iran's leadership could either open doors for de-escalation or, conversely, lead to more aggressive posturing from hardline factions trying to prove their strength. Saudi Arabia is another key player in this unfolding drama. According to reports from Al Arabiya, Saudi officials have been engaged in quiet diplomatic talks with Iran in recent years, trying to reduce tensions in the region. The death of the supreme leader could either accelerate these peace efforts or completely derail them, depending on who emerges as the new leader. Now let's zoom out and look at the global implications, because this story gets even more complex when you consider the international dimensions. The United States is undoubtedly scrambling right now to understand what this means for their Middle East policy. According to sources cited by Politico, the Biden administration has been working on a comprehensive Iran strategy, but the death of the supreme leader changes everything. The nuclear deal negotiations, which have been stalled for months, are now in complete limbo. Think about it. The U.S. has spent decades trying to contain Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence. Now, with the leadership in flux, American policymakers have to prepare for multiple scenarios. Will a more moderate leader emerge who might be willing to make concessions on the nuclear program? Or will hardliners take control and pursue an even more aggressive stance? China and Russia are also watching this situation very carefully. According to reports from Foreign Affairs magazine, both countries have developed significant economic and strategic relationships with Iran over the past decade. China, in particular, has massive oil deals with Iran, while Russia has been coordinating with Iran on various regional issues, including the situation in Syria. The economic implications are already starting to show. As reported by Bloomberg, oil prices jumped immediately following the news, with traders worried about potential supply disruptions. Iran is one of the world's largest oil producers, and any internal instability could affect global energy markets. But here's what most people aren't talking about, and this is crucial to understand. The succession process in Iran is governed by the Assembly of Experts, a body of senior clerics who are supposed to choose the next supreme leader. However, according to analysis from the Council on Foreign Relations, this process is heavily influenced by various political and religious factions within Iran's complex power structure. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, is going to play a massive role in determining what happens next. As reported by The Guardian, the IRGC controls significant military and economic resources within Iran, and their support will be crucial for any potential successor. There are several names being floated as possible successors, and each would represent a dramatically different direction for the country. According to sources cited by the New York Times, some potential candidates include more moderate figures who might be willing to engage with the West, while others are hardliners who could pursue even more aggressive policies. Let me paint a picture of what the different scenarios could look like, because understanding these possibilities is crucial for grasping the full impact of this situation. Scenario 1. A moderate successor emerges. In this case, we might see Iran become more willing to engage in diplomatic negotiations, potentially reviving nuclear talks and reducing support for regional proxy groups. This could lead to a significant de-escalation of tensions in the Middle East and open up new opportunities for economic cooperation. Scenario 2. Hardliners take control. This could result in Iran becoming even more aggressive in its regional policies, potentially accelerating its nuclear program and increasing support for militant groups. This scenario could lead to increased military tensions and possibly even direct conflicts. Scenario 3. Extended power struggle. If different factions cannot agree on a successor, Iran could enter a period of internal instability that weakens its ability to project power regionally, but also makes it unpredictable and potentially dangerous. According to intelligence analysts quoted in Jane's Defense Weekly, all three scenarios present significant challenges for international security and stability. Now let's talk about what this means for ordinary people around the world, because these geopolitical shifts don't just affect governments, they impact all of us. First, there's the economic impact. As I mentioned, oil prices are already rising, which means higher gas prices for consumers worldwide. But according to economic analysts from Goldman Sachs, the effects could extend far beyond energy costs. Iran's economy is deeply integrated with global markets, and instability there could affect everything from commodity prices to currency exchange rates. Second, there's the security dimension. According to terrorism experts cited by the International Institute for Strategic Studies, periods of political transition in major countries often create opportunities for extremist groups to exploit the uncertainty. This could potentially affect security situations in multiple countries. Third, there's the humanitarian aspect. Iran's internal policies affect millions of people, from women's rights to religious freedom. According to human rights organizations quoted by Amnesty International, a change in leadership could either improve conditions for ordinary Iranians or make them worse, depending on who takes power. Let me also address some of the misinformation that's already starting to spread about this situation. Social media is flooded with speculation and rumors, but it's crucial that we stick to verified information from credible sources. According to fact-checkers at Reuters, several fake claims are already circulating, including false reports about military mobilizations and exaggerated claims about immediate policy changes. Remember, the situation is still developing, and it's important to wait for official confirmations before drawing conclusions. What makes this situation particularly complex is the timing. According to geopolitical analysts from Stratfor, this is happening at a moment when the Middle East is already dealing with multiple crises, from ongoing conflicts in Syria and Yemen to economic challenges across the region. The international community is also dealing with other major challenges, from the ongoing war in Ukraine to tensions in the South China Sea. As reported by Foreign Policy magazine, world leaders are now having to juggle multiple potential crisis situations simultaneously. Let's also consider the technological dimensions of this story. According to cybersecurity experts cited by the Financial Times, Iran has significant cyber warfare capabilities, and periods of political transition could either lead to increased cyber attacks as different factions try to assert control, or create vulnerabilities that other countries might try to exploit. The information warfare aspect is also crucial. According to media analysts from the Reuters Institute, different countries and factions will be trying to shape the narrative around these events to serve their own interests. We're already seeing different interpretations of the same events from different media sources, depending on their political perspectives. So what should we be watching for in the coming days and weeks? According to experts I've consulted, there are several key indicators that will help us understand how this situation is developing. First, watch for statements from the Assembly of Experts and other key Iranian institutions. These will give us clues about the succession process and potential power struggles. Second, monitor the reactions from regional powers like Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Turkey. Their responses will indicate how they perceive the changing balance of power. Third, pay attention to oil markets and other economic indicators. These often react quickly to geopolitical uncertainty and can give us early warnings about potential disruptions. Fourth, watch for any changes in Iran's military posture or the activities of its proxy groups. These could signal shifts in the country's regional strategy. According to intelligence sources cited by Janes, all of these factors will need to be monitored closely to understand the full implications of this developing situation. Now, I want to be clear about something important. While we're discussing the geopolitical implications of these events, we should also remember that we're talking about real human beings and real communities that will be affected by whatever happens next. According to Iranian civil society organizations quoted by Human Rights Watch, ordinary Iranians have been hoping for positive changes in their country's direction, including greater political freedoms and economic opportunities. The outcome of this succession process could significantly impact their daily lives and future prospects. As we wrap up today's analysis, I want to emphasize that this story is far from over. In fact, we're probably just at the beginning of what could be a months-long process of political transition and regional realignment. What I've shared with you today is based on the best available information from credible sources, but the situation is evolving rapidly. Make sure you're following reliable news sources and staying informed about developments. Before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think this means for global stability? Are you concerned about the potential implications for your own country or region? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering this story closely as it develops, and you won't want to miss any updates. Also, share this video with anyone who might be interested in understanding what's really happening in this crucial geopolitical moment. The more people who understand these complex situations, the better equipped we all are to navigate an increasingly uncertain world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with more breaking news and analysis. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, and keep thinking critically about the world around us.